Chapter 15. How did you find them? Chase asked. Well, ever since you left, I have been using your drone for missions. I somewhat got the hang of it, Rocky replied. Anyway, I used them to follow the hoof prints of the pigs. I followed them north in the woods. Farmer Owl put his hands on his head. There's a ravine up in those woods, he commented. And they found that out, Rocky continued. They climbed down into the ravine and couldn't climb back up. Then let's go get them, Farmer Owl said. Wait, Ryder said. The pig pen is not ready yet. But the longer we wait, the more likely the pigs are to fall. What if I go? Chase asked. I can bring them back. Can we trust you, though? Rocky said. 5. Rocky, Ryder said. No, he's right, Chase responded. I have to prove that you guys can trust me. Okay, Ryder said. Go. Chase nodded and ran off to his vehicle, jumped in, and started the engine. Chase drove towards the wood and vanished into the trees. Once he got close to the cliff, he stopped the car and hopped out, running towards the edge. Chase looked over the edge and searched for the pigs. Where did you see them? Chase asked Rocky through the pup tag. You're pretty far, Rocky replied. Follow the drone. Before Chase could ask about it, he heard the siren from the drone. He turned around to see his old drone. He smiled at the camera and said, "Lead the way." The drone turned to its right and went forward, with Chase following close behind. So, you don't trust Chase yet? Ryder asked Rocky. Rocky sighed. I don't know, Ryder, he confessed. It's tough. I don't know if he's as capable as he was when he left. Ryder thought about it. He knows Chase said that he wanted to gain their trust on his own, but Ryder decided that Chase could use a little help. Make the drone go faster. What? Rocky asked. Do it, Ryder ordered. Rocky did as Ryder told him. He made the drone go faster. Chase picked up the pace to stay with the drone. No matter how fast the drone went, Chase stayed close. 1. Ryder noticed that at one point, the ravine was not as wide as the rest. Go to the other side, he said to the mixed breed. Rocky obeyed. He crossed the ravine. Chase, how are you holding up? Ryder asked. Small challenge, Chase said, breathing heavily. Still got more in me. Chase noticed the small area of the ravine as well. He ran faster and jumped over the gap to the other side. He slid for a second but kept on going. The drone stopped and Chase slowed down as well. He looked over the edge and noticed 3 pigs and 1 piglet. Okay, I see them, Chase panted. But they're on the other side. My bad, Rocky said. Don't worry about it, Chase said. He took a few steps back. I'll handle it. He ran up to the ravine and jumped off the edge. The place where he was standing broke off the side of the cliff and fell into the river below. Chase rolled onto the other side and scathed. Chase, are you okay? Ryder asked. Nothing I haven't done before, Chase commented. That made Ryder and Rocky smile, seeing Chase's confidence. Chase looked down at the pigs. He figured that there were at least 20 feet from him and them. Okay, I got an idea, Chase said. He turned around to look at the trees. Luckily, the closest tree to him was the largest. The lowest branch seemed to be strong enough to support a lot of weight. Rough, grappling hook, Chase called out. A box appeared out of his pup pack, and a grappling hook shot out. The grappling hook wrapped itself around the branch and attached to itself. He pulled on the rope, and it felt secure. Chase then ran over the cliff and jumped off. The rope secured itself, and Chase lowered in a controlled manner. Once he got to where the pigs were, he called out his harness. Chase strapped one of the pigs to the gear. None of the pigs were full-grown, so the harness had no problem pulling them up. Chase got the 3 oldest pigs first. "Okay, the 3 oldest pigs are secure," Chase said. "Now, the only one left is the piglet." Chase climbed back down. But once he got down and attacked the piglet to the harness, the 3 other pigs looked over the edge, moving the rope. Chase noticed that the friction of the line against the sharp rock edge was tearing it. "Please back up," Chase said with his megaphone. The pigs reluctantly backed up, and Chase climbed as quickly as possible with the piglet on his back. The rope ripped as Chase put his front paws over the edge. "Chase," Ryder said. "It's okay," Chase grunted. He hauled himself up and breathed in relief when he made it up. "Okay," Chase said. "We're coming back." Rocky, Ryder, and Farmer Al cheered as Chase drove up. As he drove, he was making pig noises through the megaphone to have the pigs follow him. He led them to their pen and walked out once they were inside, closing the gate behind him. "Thank you so much, Paw Patrol," Farmer Al praised. "I don't know what I would have done without you." "No worries, Farmer Al," Ryder said. "Whenever you're in trouble." Ryder, Rocky, and Chase said goodbye to the farmer and his animals as they left for the lookout. When they got there, Marshall and Sky were waiting for them at the door. The sun had started to set on the horizon. "How did it go?" Marshall asked. "It went great," Rocky said before Chase and Ryder could mutter a single word. He explained how Ryder told him to make the drone go faster and how Ryder said to go to the other side of the ravine. Chase looked over at Ryder. Ryder noticed and shrugged. "A little help," he whispered, not to interrupt Rocky's story. "Thank you," Chase mouthed. He was grateful for the help, even though he asked for none. "Anyway," Rocky said as he finished his story, "I was proved that I should have trusted Chase from the beginning." He turned to Chase. "I'm sorry, Chase." "Don't be," Chase said. "This is how we learn. I'm glad you trust me. I only have to convince Zuma and Rubble that they can still trust me." You will," Ryder said, scratching behind Chase's head. "But for now, rest. We have a big day tomorrow." Author's note: I am dedicating this chapter to Luciferin Clo 20. Chapter 16. Ryder and the pups went to sleep early that night. They had to go to Barkingburg on an invitation from the princess. Plus, when the sun came up, Chase was the first one to wake up as usual. He got into his uniform, put on his police hat, and walked out of his doghouse. It was earlier than expected. Chase took a deep breath. The cold air stung the German shepherd's nostrils, but in a good way, as if he could breathe easier. Chase walked to his right towards the pink doghouse next to his. The door was open, so Chase saw Sky sleeping in there. Chase noticed his old police hat hanging on the wall. He figured it was okay if she stayed with it. "Sky," Chase whispered. "Time to get up." Sky started to move a bit. She lifted her head and stared straight into Chase's amber eyes. Sky smiled. "Good morning, Chase," she said as she yawned, causing Chase to yawn as well. "How did you sleep?" "I slept well," Chase replied. "And you?" "Good," Sky said. She got up and stretched. Chase looked the other way so Sky wouldn't feel awkward. When Sky was ready, she walked out and met Chase. When Chase saw her, he said, "Let's go wake up the others." Together, they walked across the lookout and woke up the others. The first one they woke up was Zuma, followed by Rocky, Marshall, and Rubble. Upon hearing the word food, Marshall and Rubble ran off to eat. The others laughed. We should probably get going before they eat ours too, Rocky joked. He and Zuma ran off, leaving Sky and Chase alone. Sky and Chase walked alone towards the entrance. Why did Ryder want us to wake up earlier? Sky asked. I'm not entirely sure, Chase confessed. Something about the Princess of Barkingburg inviting us to the kingdom. I wonder why, Sky said sarcastically, to which Chase laughed. Yeah, he said. I'm so curious about what it would be. Whatever it is, I bet it's not about me whatsoever. Sky giggled at the statement. 2. Sky and Chase reached the door and walked in. Marshall noticed them enter. Where were you two? He asked. The others turned to Chase and Sky. We didn't feel like running, Chase replied. Marshall said. Anyway, are you going to eat your food? 'Cause I'll eat it if you don't. I'm starving. Chase laughed, seeing that his best friend didn't change. Go ahead, Marshall, he said. Sky looked at him. Are you sure? She asked. Oh, yeah, Chase answered. I'm not that hungry, and Marshall is. Thanks, Chase, Marshall said as he pushed the blue blow in front of him. You're welcome, Marshall, Chase said. He noticed that Sky was still worried about his decision. Don't worry, Sky, he reassured. I'll be fine. You eat. I will go for a quick jog. Chase smiled, which reassured Sky. Okay, she said. Sky walked towards her plate and ate her food. She turned around, and Chase was no longer there. After the Paw Patrol finished eating, Ryder came down the elevator. Good morning, he said. Good morning, the canines replied. How did you guys sleep? Ryder asked. Good, they said in unison. That's good, Ryder commented. He looked around and noticed someone missing. Where's Chase? He asked. He left for his morning jog, Rubble said. Ryder said. Well, when all of you are done eating, go and put on your uniforms, please. The princess has invited us to Barkingburg. Gee, Rocky said. I wonder why. Sky smiled at remembering that Chase and she had that same reaction a few minutes ago. Chase walked in on the team. Ryder poured water in his dog bowl, and he drank the water fairly quickly. When Chase finished drinking water, Chase looked up and noticed the others staring at him. What? He asked. They all laughed at the response. Everyone left and put on their uniforms. They waited in front of the lookout with their vehicles as Ryder came around with the Paw Patroller. They all put their cars in the back and sat in their spots. When they were all seated, seatbelts appeared from the cushions and strapped them in. 3. Road trip, they all said in unison. 13. Ryder ordered Robodog to drive them to Barkingburg. I forgot about Robodog, Chase said. Last time I saw him was before Adventure City and Mayor Humdinger, Ryder finished the sentence. Yeah, I was able to figure out what was wrong with him, and I fixed him. He couldn't drive us on that road trip, but he can now. 2. Nice, Chase said. The trip was 2 hours long. They decided to spend it watching Apollo the Super Pup, the marathon. When they got there, they looked out the windows to see blue balloons everywhere. Some had yellow stars on them. As the Paw Patroller passed through the city, cheers went up everywhere. When the Paw Patrol got to the castle, the princess greeted them at the entrance. To her right was her butler, and Sweetie was to her left. Ryder and the others walked out of the Paw Patroller and bowed before the princess. Princess, Ryder said. Thank you for inviting us. Thank you for coming, the princess said in an English accent, bowing back. She stood up and looked over the team. So is it true? Has Chase returned? 1. Yes, ma'am, Chase stepped forward. I have returned. The princess ran over and hugged the German shepherd. How wonderful, she said. Thank goodness too, 'cause I spent so long preparing for your arrival. The parade will start shortly. Honestly, Princess, Chase said. You didn't need to do that? Nonsense, she said. The return of a hero has always been a reason to celebrate. Come, we prepared breakfast for you all. As they walked, Chase ended up walking next to Sweetie. There's no talking her out of it, right? He asked. Nope, she replied. She was honestly surprised that Chase was talking to her. When the princess wants something done, it's done. Chase laughed. All right, then, he said. Let's see how this turns out.